GitHub Copilot costs $10 to $100 a month, forever. Tonight, I'm replacing it with a stack that costs $0 forever, using models that live entirely on your machine. Copilot Free caps you at 2,000 completions and 50 chat requests a month. Pro is $10 a month per seat. Business is $19. Enterprise is $39. None of that is a one-time cost. It recurs every single month, forever. The stack I'm building instead is 2 pieces. Continue is the open source editor extension. Ollama is the local server that actually runs the model on your GPU. Wire them together, and every completion, every chat message, every line of generated code happens on your machine, not on GitHub servers. 6 pricing tiers, and everyone recurs monthly, forever. Free costs nothing, but caps you at 2,000 completions and 50 chat requests, auto model selection only. Pro is $10 a seat, with $10 in monthly AI credits included. Pro Plus jumps to $39, unlocking premium models. Max hits $100 a month with $200 in credits. Business runs $19 a seat. Enterprise $39. Since June 1st, 2026, completions stay included on every plan. Only chat and agent usage draws down credits, so the local chat model is competing directly against the metered part of all 6. Here's the cloud path, step by step. You type a keystroke in your editor. The Copilot extension catches it locally. It packages the context and sends it out over the internet. That request hits GitHub's API, which routes it to a hosted model, in some cases, a premium one, like an Opus class model on the higher tiers. The model generates a completion server-side. It streams back over the same internet connection into your editor's buffer. Every one of those hops is a real network round trip. And on every tier, except pure completions, that round trip also ticks a credit meter, because chat and agent usage draws down your monthly AI credits the moment the response lands. On business and enterprise seats, that hosted model also gets org-wide codebase indexing and PR review baked in, backed by frontier models with no local hardware ceiling at all. That's real depth the free tier and a home GPU don't have. Now the same layout, local path. Keystroke in your editor. This time, the Continue extension catches it. It calls localhost, port 11434, no internet involved at all. That's Ollama, running as a background server on your own machine. Ollama loads the assigned model onto your GPU, Qwen3-Coder 30B for chat, or the smaller FIM model for autocomplete. The model generates the completion locally and streams it straight back into your editor's buffer. There's no network hop icon here, because there's no network. The cost meter stays flat at $0, and this whole loop works exactly the same on a plane with no Wi-Fi as it does at your desk. Swap Qwen3-Coder for any other Ollama model tomorrow, and nothing else in this diagram changes. No vendor lock-in, no new account, just a different model tag in the same config file. 3 pulls, then proof it's alive. Ollama pull Qwen3-Coder 30B grabs the chat and agent model, 19 gigabytes on disk. Ollama pull Qwen2.5-Coder 1.5B grabs the autocomplete model, under a gigabyte. Ollama pull nomic-embed-text grabs the embeddings model, 274 megabytes. Run Ollama serve to start the server. Curl localhost 11434 should answer immediately. If it doesn't, the server isn't running, or something else already owns that port. Ollama list shows every model you've actually pulled, which is the fastest way to catch a typo in your config before Continue ever sees it. Budget 20 to 25 gigabytes, total disk, for all 3 models combined at the 24 gigabyte tier, and expect the first response after Ollama serve to take longer, since that first call has to load the model weights into VRAM before it can generate anything. 3 models, 3 roles, 1 config file. The chat model is Qwen3-Coder 30B, with capabilities tool use set explicitly. That tag is what makes it usable as an actual agent, not just a chat window. Its roles are chat, edit, and apply. The autocomplete model is a completely different one, Qwen2.5-Coder 1.5B, trained on fill in the middle, not chat, assigned only the autocomplete role. The embed model is nomic-embed-text, 274 megabytes, for anyone still relying on vector search over a codebase. The schema itself only requires 3 top-level keys: name, version, and schema, set here to v1. Everything else is optional. Models, obviously, but also context, rules, prompts, docs, MCP servers, and data for anyone wiring in external tools later. If you leave roles off a model entry entirely, Continue defaults it to chat, edit, apply, and summarize, which is exactly why the autocomplete model above needs its roles listed explicitly. Otherwise, Continue would try to use a fill-in-the-middle model as a chat model too, and that's its own kind of broken. This exact file also works as a project override. Drop a smaller version at the root of any repo, and it layers on top of the global one without replacing it. Assign a chat model to the autocomplete role, and it breaks quietly. Generic instruct models like Llama 3.1 or Mistral were never trained on fill-in-the-middle tokens, so autocomplete either goes silent or starts typing conversational text into your code. By the way, I post these daily. Subscribe if local AI interests you. The fix is always the same. Autocomplete needs a model that ships FIM, Qwen3-Coder, Coder 2, or DeepSeek-Coder. Continue infers the prompt template from the model's name, so renaming a model can silently drop those FIM tokens too. 3 hardware tiers, 6 real configurations. At 8 GB, Qwen3-Coder 30B handles chat, tight but workable, and the smaller autocomplete model shares the card, though switching between them fast can cause a visible reload stutter. At 16 GB, Qwen3-Coder 30B runs comfortably, with room for autocomplete and embeddings to sit alongside it without evicting anything. At 24 GB, Qwen3-Coder 30B fits with headroom left over, the one tier where the agent-capable model actually runs well, and the autocomplete plus embed models add almost nothing on top of that 19 GB. The old code-based provider is officially deprecated. Continue's own docs say so directly, in favor of a more integrated approach. Here's what replaced it. Ask the chat panel a question about your repo. It doesn't search a pre-computed vector index anymore. The model calls a file read tool first, opening the actual files it needs. Then a pattern search tool, grepping across the repo like you would. Then Git, if it needs commit history or blame. You can watch every one of those tool calls happen live in the panel, which is real proof this is agentic exploration, not RAG. For a public repo you don't own, Continue's guide points to DeepWiki MCP instead of building your own embeddings index. Project-level guidance for the agent lives in markdown files under a rules folder in your repo. Plain instructions the model reads before it starts exploring, things like which directories to ignore or which patterns your team actually follows. Ollama's default context window is 4,096 tokens, no matter what the model supports. A real repo gets truncated unless you raise it. Continue's own GitHub repo carries this banner today, no longer actively maintained and is read only for all users. Cursor acquired the company in June 2026. Your local config still works. None of this touches it. Local wins on cost and privacy, flat out. It loses on long context repo awareness and deep agent features unless you've got 24 GB of VRAM. That's the honest trade, and for most solo developers, it's still worth making. That's the whole stack. Ollama serving 3 separate models, Continue routing chat, autocomplete, and embeddings to each one, and a config file that took 10 minutes to write. It won't replace Copilot's cloud agent on an 8 GB card, but it replaces the subscription. Pull the models, write the config, and tell me what breaks.